Hi, folks. Welcome to the second episode of Seniors Moment. I'm Charlie Wu, the co-host of the show, and
I'm Mayo.
the other co-host. Yeah. Our topic for today is falling, especially pertaining to seniors. According to CDC, 34,000 seniors 65 years and older die from injury suffered after falling in the year of 2019. Thus, it makes it one of the leading causes of injury death in this country. The emergency department recorded 3 million visits for senior falls. These senior falls cost $50 billion to this nation in medical expenses annually. Today, we're very fortunate to have two special guests, Dr. Michael McMurray and Dr. Umar Ellahie. Is that right?
You got it.
They're going to share their knowledge with us on this important topic. So welcome, Dr.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
McMurray.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Would you like to take over and give us some
Absolutely.
background of
Well, thank
what
you.
you do? Yeah.
We'll just get a background of who I am. I've lived in Los Gatos since 1978. I've been in practice for 39 years in Campbell, California. And we've prepared a lecture today that directly reflects what we do every day in practice. And Dr. Ellahie is in my practice with me, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Umar Ellahie. I am a chiropractor practicing with Dr. McMurray, and I lived in Los Gatos for about 30 years, graduated from Los Gatos High in 2004, and we're really excited to bring you guys a show about this topic.
So maybe you can lead us into
Yeah.
the subject.
Well, we'll get started. So today's purpose is, I like to get right to the point with things. And what we're going to do is this, is we're going to talk about who are we? How do we navigate ourselves through space and time? And we have a word in healthcare or science called proprioception. And you wonder why you fall.
Yes.
There's three things. See my hands? I know my hand is over here right now. That's proprioception. If I move my eyes up and over, they're focusing, I'm going to a different visual field. That's visual perception. Then I'll have my ears. If I do this, do I get dizzy? No. Why? Because my inner ears are working well. But as we age, these things deteriorate. As a result, you wonder why we fall? Because our sensory systems that tell us where we are in space and time aren't there for us.
Exactly.
Okay. So I brought a model today. We'll start with this model. This is a neck. And any chiropractor, orthopedist, or physical therapist, they deal with necks all day long. This is the front. This is the back. In the neck, we have joints in the back. They have sensors. And I'm going to use basic terms because they're valid. I'm not going to go into scientific terms. Who cares? We're here to figure out what's going on.
Right.
And they tell this part of your brain, cerebellum, back here, position sense. Like I'm sitting in this chair. I'm holding my arms out as position sense. These receptors are some of the most powerful indicators of where you are in space and time. So let's say you played high school football. Let's say you had an auto accident. Let's say you were in a profession and you wore high heels all the time. These things distort what is known as the normal cervical curve. It was proven in 1987 by Dr. Donald Harrison in a PhD thesis at the University of Alabama that the neck is supposed to be a 43-degree curve. Now, in our practice every day, we don't see too many of those, do we? That's why they come in and see us. So this is the head. It weighs 7.75% of your body weight. So let's make this easy math. Let's just say it's 10%. So you weigh 100 pounds, the thing weighs 10 pounds. So 1/3 of the weight is supposed to be on the disc in the front. 2/3 the weight of the head is supposed to be on the joints in the back. So as you get older, if you lost your neck curve because you were a football player and you never got it fixed because everybody said take some aspirin, you'll get over it, then you'll age much faster. And you develop osteoarthritis in your neck. Now, if you don't go to a chiropractor who practices biomechanics, but you go to a doctor that just wants to get you out of pain in a good way, it's all they know, then you're running stuck with that neck, and you'll age faster. And if you go to the wrong doctor, they'll go, oh, well, honey, you're just getting old. You got some arthritis in your neck. Yeah, arthritis happens because of joint dysfunction. You can live a healthy life and not have arthritis. So what the chiropractor does is that, so what happens, let me talk a little bit more about this. When you have too much weight on your discs in the front, the disc starts to crack and it leaks its contents out. And its contents is a chemical soup. And this chemical soup causes bone spurs to develop. It's called granulation formation. Now, these are big words you don't need to remember, but I'm just saying if there is somebody with a science background, they'll understand that. So then you go to the doctor once again. They say, oh, you got arthritis in your neck. We have arthritis in your neck once again because you have bad biomechanics and the discs are breaking down. So you got holes in your side of your head, and these holes are where the nerve roots come out. And they go to your arms and your organs. And now if the disc is a spacer, if it gets narrower, well, then there's more pressure on this nerve. So now you don't have, it's like you have a brownout of energy. And my refrigerator doesn't work because there's not enough energy to drive the motor in it. And well, it's running, but it's not, things aren't staying cold. So you're having a rolling blackout when you get pressure on these nerves.
Is that why old people bend over?
Great lead up. Thank you. That's an awesome question.
Yes.
Yeah, you know why? Why do I want to do this? Because it feels better. You open the spinal canal because it got a little narrow because you lost your discs. You know, hey, how you doing? And then they turn your head like this. Why do they start turning their head like that? Great question. Yeah. And if you have a person, so we're in a research study. This is not a lecture. We're going there because you asked this question. Do older people need? Do people need chiropractic to get older? Absolutely. Why? We are in a national research study with one of the world's experts, Dr. James Cox, proving that what we do is open the spinal canal by 28%. So we bend forward to open the spinal canal. Why did the spinal canal get smaller? Because we lost our discs. We lost our spacer. Okay? So back to the whole concept of this talk is that we get knowledge to the brain from the joints, from the eyes. The eyes are the most powerful thing for position sense. We're going to talk about this and how to fix this in a minute.
Interesting.
They override the joints. They override the inner ear. So if you can see your eyes, that's like the master control system. So the inner ear, when you get older, it hardens. Do you know you have rocks in your head?
Is that where it is?
Yeah, you have rocks in your head. They're called otoconii. Big word.
Okay.
They're calcium.
rocks in
They're
your
a type of calcium
Yeah.
that helps you with your equilibrium. But as you get older, they can actually break loose and slide out of this one part of the canal into the other part. And then, oh man, I'm really dizzy now.
Is that what causes you to get off balance? Or?
It can, yes. So we have 3 reasons. So let's go back to basics. You're getting dizzy because you're losing proprioception or knowledge from your joints, knowledge from your ears, knowledge from your eyes. This is what keeps you upright. And what we're going to show from the rest of this talk is how to prevent that.
Yes.
Now,
we want the
I'm really
answer.
sorry that you hear about people falling. It's not so much making your house safe. Yeah, we want you to check the loose carpet. We want to keep the hallways wide. We make sure there are no cords out. These are all obvious things. Yeah, I want you to do that. But we're going to get right to brass tacks. What can you do to prevent it?
Yeah.
What can you do to improve it? Okay?
Yes.
And so one last thing before we get started is that so the chiropractor does, there's types of chiropractic where they adjust you with what we call a high velocity, high amplitude adjustment. And you hear popping. And that's blood gases, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide to come out. Is it safe? Yeah, it's safe. It's got over 1 in a million chance of giving you a stroke. That's the insurance actuarials that did that. Those are the guys you want to believe, not hearsay and conjecture from some community that says, doesn't really recognize your profession, that type of thing.
Yeah. Tell us the truth.
Yeah. So we don't do that type of adjustment on even myself or even professional athletes. We can, but we're going to prefer the most evidence-based technique in chiropractic called activator methods, where we can get these joints moving again, and we're going to talk about why you want to get them moving.
By themselves.
Using this instrument. So as an older adult, you say, well, I don't want some guy coming in here and cracking my neck.
Okay.
Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to do another method that's more gentle. We're also going to use a method to help your balance improve called something called a Cox table. I've studied with Jim Cox now for 40 years. We're in this He's 83, sharp as a tack. His newsletter last month is 63 pages. Can you imagine that? I can't even read the thing. So the point is, I try, but
Yeah.
we have a special instrument, it's a $24,000 instrument, where we can find out which joint's not working well and put all your motion back. And all of a sudden you're turning your head better again, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not going to talk about our techniques so much today, but more what you can do. But it's very safe to come to the chiropractor. Don't be afraid of the chiropractor if they're using the activator technique or what's called the Cox technique. Like I said, I lectured with him for 2 years, studied with him now for 40 years. Also, when I was doing a demonstration, we're doing a study right now on spinal stenosis, how we can open the canal and then get you upright again.
Well, does it stay? Does the chiro when you open
no, there's
up
no
the
cure,
canal?
but we manage it.
Yeah, okay.
It's called palliative care. You don't have a choice. Like if I don't exercise, he's a personal trainer. Hey, if I don't exercise my bicep muscle, will it stay big? No.
No.
It's not a free
No,
ride.
no.
Okay, you got to do your work.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
we'll go from there. We'll get started.
Yeah, we're going to get into how do we train these muscles and these what exercises do we need to do or show you guys what to do so that you can do stuff at home to start training. It's just all about training your brain and your musculature to have better balance.
Why don't we do one thing right now before you get up? Can I borrow your tablet?
Sure.
Okay, pretend this is my computer screen. And a lot of people of all ages stare at their computer screen all day long.
Right.
Where are your eyes? They're right here. Do you ever look to the right? Oh. Do you ever look to the left? No. Do you ever look down? No. So this is part of your peripheral vision. When you lose peripheral vision, you start to fall down. This happens to any age. And so we'll be teaching what to do to remedy that.
So it's not the brain, it's the eyes, and
Yeah, it's your eyes not being used.
yeah.
Disuse atrophy,
Just
we call
looking
that.
at that.
You don't use it, you what?
Yeah.
You lose
Very
it, right?
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should teach this in kindergarten.
Well, we're really pretty perfect in kindergarten. We do everything right. It's life that screws us up. All right, want to get started?
Yes, we're getting our practical.
Yeah, we're going to get a practical
segment.
then. Yeah, we're going to go practical now and show you what to do.
Yeah.
Well, we're back, and we're going to talk about what you can do starting right now at home to help your ability to perceive where you're at, wherever you're standing. We call that your proprioception. So the first thing we're going to do is work on the eyes. And Charlie, can you hand me your pad there?
Sure.
Thank you. Charlie's lending us. This is my computer screen, okay? So pretend I'm at my computer screen. And let's talk about that, by the way. It should be about, if you draw a line straight at your computer screen, it should be never above your eyesight, but maybe 5 degrees below. You don't be looking down, you don't want to looking up, straight ahead. But you lose your peripheral vision. So what we're going to illustrate now is how to help your peripheral vision. I'm going to start by having Dr. Ellahie do some eye exercises where he's going to look into each what we call visual field and hold it and focus. So he's going to show how you'd look straight out. Oh, okay, we're going to go that one. Let's just do the eye movements first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to look up to the right. We'll both do it. And just hold it. And you want to hold it. Why? Because we're exercising your eye muscles. Okay, now look down and right. Hold it. And you might say, my eyes are getting tired. Yeah, it's because your muscles are weak. Now look down and left. Without moving your head, hold it. Now go up and to your left and hold it. Now, take your index finger, stick it out in front of you, and stare at it and bring it all the way in and focus all the way in. You're crossing your eyes over, just like this. Now, you just went through all your visual fields, and you might feel tired. The reason why you get tired, and he's going to show an exercise right now on the wall, is if you've ever watched a movie and there's things blowing up and people doing crazy stuff and you fell asleep. Why? Because you exceeded what's called the metabolic ability of your brain. It's tired. It can't metabolize any more energy. So it just shut off and you fell asleep. So this is what happens when your eye muscles get weak. So we're going to work on getting them stronger. Okay, so he's going to show an exercise you do on the wall. Go ahead and start.
So I'm just going to be drawing a figure 8 pattern and tracking my finger with my eyes. And you can go small to large, and you can go real slow. And maybe you do this about 10 times. And you can do it on both sides using both hands. But I'm really just trying to, test my eye muscles and my peripheral vision and even my acute vision.
Very good. So you need to do this every day. Yeah, another thing to do. But it shouldn't take you more than a few minutes. And if you're at the computer, every hour, maybe do this. And you've noticed after about 30 days, gosh, you just feel a little more spry. You're moving around a little better. You're standing up straighter. You're standing up straighter because you're firing the muscles in your neck and your upper back to come back into holding you properly in space and time just by developing eye muscles. Okay? So the next thing we're going to talk about is, by the way, are there other exercises? Absolutely. But I want you to do these two because they're the most important and easy to remember. And we want you to do it. So let's go to the next thing. Let's talk about your ear. So Dr. Ellahie is going to come over here on the table for just a minute. And we're going to talk about your balance. Now, if any of these things make you dizzy, stop. But we're going to get those inner ear canals to working. So we're going to have you fall to your left. Now, you can have your spouse or whoever's in your house with you helping you out and maybe spot you and then go to the right. And you might find that you get dizzy going one way but not the other. That's okay. That means you got a challenge. So keep working it. And in a few weeks, I'm not going to say days, you'll notice an improvement in your balance. That's very safe because you're on your bed, you're on your couch, but make sure somebody's spotting you in case you fall forward, and you don't want to do that, obviously. Okay? So the next exercise, lie on your back. So what happens to us is we all have a side of dominance. I'm right-handed. Maybe you're left-handed. That's your side of dominance. We want to reestablish dominance. Why? Because through stress, confusion, what have you, we often lose balance between the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And there's a switchboard in the middle of the brain called the corpus callosum. And the corpus callosum coordinates right and left hemisphere. So we're going to teach cross-crawling. And this is to improve your balance and your coordination. So Dr. Ellahie's right-handed. So let's have you raise your left leg and right arm and look at your right arm. It's very important you turn the head, and it's very important you do this all together. Now, let's do the right leg. Now, do you look at the left arm rather? No. You look at the sky. Don't turn the head. Now, let's show you what happens when a person's confused. You say, okay, raise your right arm and your left leg. Oh, wait. He just raised his right arm and right leg. He's confused. Now, let's try it again. So you might assist the person so they pattern them, turn your head, and come back. Now, if the person keeps goofing up, that's fine. And you got something to work with. Now, let's go right leg, left arm, look straight to the sky. And watch your partner's eyes and make sure they're not cheating on you by sneaking over to the left when they raise that left arm up.
So when you raise the left arm, you don't look to the left, right?
Well, it's the opposite side of handedness. So if you're right-handed, you only turn your head to the right side. He just did it wrong there, right? Okay? So now we're going to do left leg, right arm, and look to the side of handedness. Okay? All right? Now you keep doing it till you're smooth. Do you know, it's interesting. I learned this 40 years ago. And I was taking my California State Board. And if you want to have, women, they say, have better intuition than men do, Charlie. Did you know that? They have better intuition. So if we want to be more like women, we want to cross-crawl. Right, because it gives us better intuition. So when you're taking that test and you can't whether it's C or D, I'm serious, this works. And I was cross-crawling down a major boulevard in LA before I took my boards in case I got nervous, right? Now bring this up and escort them, and just escort them like this, and then they're on their own. Now you keep going and turning the head, looking at the side of handedness and back, this leg up, head stay straight and back, and keep going. Keep going until you feel smooth.
I want to add.
Yeah.
So you had me do it incorrectly, and then you told me to do it, and I did it incorrectly. because I just trained it incorrectly and my brain got screwed up.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you
It's
train it
takes
correctly,
brain
it'll get better.
power
You train
to
it
get
There you
that
go.
motor
it'll
running.
mess you up.
That's a good point. Okay, very, very good. All right, so that's called cross crawling. You can do this in bed. All right. Now, while you're in bed, let's just turn your neck. I've recently had a neck injury and been getting a lot of great treatment from Dr. Ellahie, and so I have to work on my range of motion to get it back from my injury. But many people just go, "Oh, I'm okay here. Isn't this close enough?" No, it really isn't. And they adapt to that, and then they walk in the office. So the minute you get injured, get it fixed. You're supposed to have full range of motion. Don't just say, "I'll be okay. Leave me alone. I'll be fine." No, you won't. What quality of life do you want? If you want a good quality of life, then you come in and get a correction. All right, so let's turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right. Simple as that. Do this in bed. And if you get dizzy, make note of that. Let your chiropractor or medical doctor know. Hopefully it's your chiropractor. Why? Because they'll know more what to do. And I want you to do this several times every day to start your day off. Now, when you get out of bed, get up. Go ahead and sit up there for a minute. You know what? Show him how to get up. That's right. He's going to demonstrate how to get up. First of all, when you get out of bed, you turn on your side. Bend your knees to your chest, swing your legs off, and then push up. You know, you see people doing the splits getting out of bed sometimes. Now, once you get up, just sit there for about 15 seconds. Why? It lets your blood pressure come back. You see, your blood pressure actually goes up when you first get up to push blood to the brain so you don't faint or pass out. It's when you have a drop in blood pressure in your brain, you fall down. And sometimes as we get older, we need to give ourselves more time to acclimate. Does that make sense?
So is this why, you know, when you stand up really fast from sitting,
Yeah.
that you
You
feel
know,
dizzy?
Yeah. Whoa, who did that? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that type thing. Exactly.
And that's normal?
Well, it does happen, but we'd like you to do it this way so it doesn't become normal for you.
And the falls are on the way to the bathroom.
Yes, it falls on the way to the
many,
bathroom.
Many times.
You're exactly right, and that's why let's show how to get up one more time. Okay, so you turn on your side, bend your knees to your chest, swing your legs off the edge of the table, and now sit there and just sit there for a minute. Take it. The best thing is take a deep breath, inhaling through your nose, and then hold it and exhale through your mouth. Now you're ready to go to the bathroom. Okay. All right.
Okay,
and then
thanks.
stand up.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
That's right. Okay, so the last thing we're going to show you to do is how to walk. And go ahead and stand up right there. We'll make the best out of the stage. Go right to the edge, if you could, over here on this side. And we're going to show you a cross crawl pattern. When you know of a person that either if you're a friend or family member and they're walking and they're not using their arms anymore. Bummer. Why? It's one of the signs of senile dementia. You forget to cross crawl. We showed you how to cross crawl in bed, but when you walk, it should be a cross crawl. So just show a cross crawl. So, and it's pause. So what's he doing? Left arm, right leg. One more step. Right arm,
right, yeah.
left leg. But people don't do that. And look where his head is. It's over his shoulders. Where do most people, tell me, either one of you, what do people do as they get older? Do they like to look straight ahead?
No, they kind of look.
They want
down,
to see what's on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can do. Why? Because you go where your eyes are. If you're looking down, you're going down. Were you ever a skier, Charlie, or anything? Were you ever a
No.
skier? Well, we ski the trees, for powder, if you're in that type of stuff. The mantra you tell the person maybe you're training is, see the spaces, not the trees. The same with us walking down the street. See the space. Don't look at the ground. And so make sure you hold your head up and start to use that peripheral vision that you started developing by doing your figure eights on your wall, holding your head still. And you can do this side. I didn't mention that earlier. Do both sides, do your figure eights on both sides. And then doing your visual eye fields where you hold it. And then you go down and left. Okay? So these are basic exercises everybody can do. Are there more? Yes. But we're just giving you what you need to get started right now, not to confuse this. Okay? Can you add anything to that?
No, I would just reiterate that. Practice walking. You're using the opposing limbs and your head up. You can look at the ground about 10 to 15 feet in front of you, but using your peripheral vision, not looking down like Dr. McMurray said. I'm paying attention to what's on the ground in front of me, but not looking down.
One last thing we probably should add is walkers. People get really unstable and get on a walker because they're really bent over like this now. Okay, that messes up your visual field. Everything is gone when you're doing this. You're just holding on for dear life. And when you go to a store and you see that person hanging on the cart and they're pushing it around like this, you know why they do that? That thing called spinal stenosis that we all get when our discs get a little narrower and the little hole where the nerve comes out gets smaller. We open it up like you mentioned. You know, you mentioned that earlier by bending forward. We want to get you back upright because it messes up your balance. So we want, and when you set up a walker, set it up so you can be as erect as possible. You don't want to be walking like this or you're really on a downhill decline.
That's so interesting to me because Charlie played basketball and he was the head of his basketball team for 3 years solid. And he said he used to think his shots while he was standing still. You know, that he could see himself
Visualizing.
doing, and he knew when it have a basket, not from physical, but to mentally. Charlie, did you talk about that?
Yeah, well, in sports, I think a lot of it is mental, you know, and before the game, many athletes, even though they're not conscious, but they sync their brain to their body, and so when they're actually playing, everything kind of just connect, you know.
That's
So,
correct.
yeah.
We have a term for that. What you visualize is what you realize.
Yeah.
What you
That's
visualize is
saying.
what you realize.
If you use your eye, you don't
But
need
we
necessarily.
want you to stand up straight, walk straight ahead, use your peripheral vision. I mean, you can look down to see what's going down there. Obviously, I'm not saying never look down, but don't make that your primary mode of
Which people do.
movement. Okay?
Very
All
good.
right. I think that's we covered everything that we need to cover today.
Yeah, that's good. Any questions?
All right?
Is there anything to do with like the sight? If you have one eye that has good sight, and like I have a blind eye that never developed as a child.
Okay.
I was cross-eyed when I was a little girl,
Okay.
but that somehow corrected itself. But does that have to do with like the brain and?
Well, it has to do with your eye muscles.
Yeah.
And they do atrophy like any other muscle. If you don't use it, you
Yeah.
lose it. And that's in this today. It's very easy. I mean, people are on their computer 8 hours a day. The CDC saying
everybody's on the
killing people
phone and,
as much as cigarette smoking did. And that's why they brought in standing desks. We're not going to get into that, but movement is key. A quick story is that I had a very cute 3-year-old in my office with her grandmother, and we were just examining her, and I couldn't believe what she blurted out. You know, Grandma, you just got to move. Oh, whoa. Genius. You're right.
Oh,
So be a 3-year-old. You just got to move.
yeah.
Okay? And
Move it. Yeah.
just move it. And you're both doing fantastic. Just
Well,
perfected.
Very
Okay,
good.
I have a question. Now, if people feel that they need chiropractic practice, how would they find you?
Well,
what would they?
we're in Campbell, California.
Okay.
My name's McMurray. And if you just put in the word McMurray and chiropractic, it'll pop right up.
Okay.
We'll put on those.
Yeah, we
put
should
this-
include the link and phone number and
Yeah.
information with this video
Yeah.
or show. But yeah, Google McMurray Chiropractic or Chiropractic Solutions Campbell, and yeah, we'll pop right up.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. McMurray.
I want to thank Dr. Murray and Dr. Ellahie for coming and speaking with us and sharing their knowledge. And I want to thank the audience for watching the Seniors Moment at KCAT. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.